we're fed up. People from the Bronx is fed up. People from New York is fed up. And we want something different. We want change. And Donald Trump has promised to bring change. And he's proven that he can do that.
Yes, change and hope. I think that should be one of President Trump's bumper stickers this year. Change and hope. That's the opposite of what Obama promised when he promised hope and change. See? That was a gentleman enjoying President Trump's gathering and speech, his rally in the Bronx, New York yesterday. I'm pretty sure he meant to say the people of the Bronx are fed up. The people of New York are fed up. He had a singular plural disagreement there. I would say a failure of the public school system in New York, which again goes to the Democrats, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Well, happy Friday to you and welcome. As we stride into the Memorial Day weekend, they like to call it the unofficial start of summer, the unofficial beginning of summer. It's not the solar summer, but culturally and on our calendar, kind of, the beginning of summer. It's the way we think of it, vacation time and all of that. But galactically speaking, let's get to President Trump. I want to get right to it because there's so much to get to, as always. And I want to get to President Trump, what President Trump had to say in the Bronx yesterday and what the people of the Bronx had to say about President Trump being there, and then the news media playing their corrupt role because they're filthies. Filthies, that's filthy, plural, the plural of filthy. They're the filthies. And remarkable stuff. But I do want to jump right in because President Trump, we'll also get to Senator Ted Cruz with Joe Biden's pick for a judicial slot. And Ted Cruz had a couple of things to say about that. The woman was defenseless because Senator Cruz presented her with her own record and with the facts. And then she realized that that was all indefensible. She tried to defend it because they're all nuts. Now, let's go the Fox News Channel's headline on this. Trump vows to save deep blue New York City in massive, historic Bronx rally. 25,000 supporters of the former president descended on Crotona Park in the Bronx. Trump's campaign said, and you look at the aerials and all that, a very good crowd. Former President Donald Trump has broken political norms by visiting one of the most deep blue, that means hardcore left wing. It should be red. I don't use red and blue because the left is red in every country in the world except the United States of America, because a corrupt news media decided that the Democrats would be blue and conservatives would be red, knowing that every focus group will tell you that red is a negative color and blue is a positive color. So the corruptniks in the Democrat media, they chose blue for themselves and red for the, and they don't want to label the left as red here, better dead than red. So they, I don't use red and blue whenever possible, and it's pretty easy to avoid. But the former president broken political norms visiting one of the most deep blue areas in New York City, a town not necessarily known for its kindness to Republicans. Trump rallied a crowd of what his campaign estimated to be 25,000 supporters at Crotona Park in the Bronx on Thursday, far more than the initial 3,500 it said were expected to attend. Those numbers appeared to also include those lined up outside the event who waited for hours to get a shot at getting inside, even after the event began. Now, let me go to some of the audio of President Trump in the Bronx with a big old crowd. We expected 3,500. We got 25,000-ish. And President Trump in the Bronx, New York.
We had the greatest economy in history. Everybody here, where you have a small business or if you had a job, you were getting more than you ever made. And we had no inflation. We had no 1.4%, considered none, considered better than none, because frankly, none in its own way is a bad thing also. We had a perfect number, 1.4%. It doesn't matter whether you're black or brown or white or whatever the hell color you are, it doesn't matter. We are all Americans, and we're going to pull together as Americans.
And listen to the crowd of black and white. Hey, wait, they're chanting USA. Two different chants of USA began in different parts of the crowd at the same time, and then the crowd came together to marry up their USA chants. And again, this is a very ethnically rich and culturally diverse, that is to say, a very black and Hispanic crowd, and some Caucasoids, European Caucasoids as well. President Trump not giving himself quite enough credit there. He said we had an inflation rate of 1.4%. That's true on January 20th of 2021, on Inauguration Day for Joe Biden. But earlier in 2020, he had, just before the election, he had an inflation rate of 1.2%. And then when Joe Biden won the election, our gas prices started going up. The energy industry ran for cover. Other prices started going up, too, because they knew that Joe Biden was going to demolish capitalism and the economy because, Barack Obama is behind the curtain with an AK-47 waiting to take down the United States of America. But good stuff by President Trump. And the crowd, again, a majority non-white crowd, and chanting USA, USA, and the chant of USA, again, broke out in different parts of the crowd simultaneously, and that's why there was a little out-of-sync moment, and then they synced up, and they're chanting USA, and the Democrats don't want to see this. A lot of people with accents from Latin American countries and from other countries chanting USA, USA at a Trump rally by the tens of thousands in the Bronx, New York. And let me say something else about this while I'm thinking of it. Something worthy of note, and this is often something that's left out of news reporting, the things that don't happen, right? The things you don't see. And here are a couple of things that did not happen at a rally in the Bronx of tens of thousands of people, which is a very high crime area with a lot of poverty because the Democrats have been running it into the ground for generations now, destroying the school system, defunding the police, encouraging crime and gangs and so on. And all of that bad stuff goes on there. But yesterday at the Trump rally with tens of thousands of people from the Bronx, there was no violence. There were no shootings. There was no looting. There were no police cars attacked and burned because it wasn't a Democrat rally in the Bronx. It was a rally of Trump supporters in the Bronx. And it was peaceful and harmonious and happy and positive and pro-American. And you heard President Trump say, and you never hear a Democrat say this, it doesn't matter if you're black or white or Latino, or as Joe Biden says, Latinx, because he thinks it's not just an ethnic group, but also a bathroom tissue. He likes to say Latinx, but President Trump said it doesn't matter if you're black. I mean, he comes from Queens in New York. It's the Bronx, but it's just Queens. And he comes from Queens, New York, and he says, and he grew up there. He really did grow up there. And, he went to college. He didn't go too far. And he says it doesn't matter. Now, no Democrat has said that in I don't know how long. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. There's a song, too, that goes along with that. It doesn't matter because we're all Americans. When's the last time you heard a Democrat say that? Maybe never. Certainly not lately. President Trump in the Bronx.
Biden is not getting the job done for the Bronx. The minute crooked Joe Biden shuffles out the door, I will rapidly rebuild the greatest economy the history of the world.
And I tell you, a lot of people talking to the media there yesterday and the day before, talking about the economy and talking about how when Trump was president, we had a strong economy. They had more money in their pockets, and now they've got less money in their pockets, and everything costs more because Joe Biden and behind the curtain, Barack Obama with his AK-47 and his funny hat. He's wearing a funny hat, too. They're doing us in. They're here to do it. It's the fundamental transformation of America from the most successful, the most functional, the most racially harmonious country in the history of the world with people from every corner of the planet gathered here in the United States to become Americans. But the Democrats want us balkanized, like the Balkan states in Eastern Europe. But never mind that. Donald Trump yesterday in the Bronx talking about what the Democrat Party's priorities are.
In Brooklyn, American students at James Madison High School were recently told they had to stay at home from school so their classrooms could be turned into housing for thousands of migrants. Very simply, Joe Biden puts illegal aliens first. I put America first. I put America first.
And listen to the crowd. Listen to the crowd go wild. And I'm sure you've seen video of the crowd. And again, the crowd is not like a Biden family portrait by any stretch of the imagination. Joe Biden only pins Caucasian Senate staffers against the wall and sexually assaults them and sniffs, Caucasian little girls and little children. And Hunter Biden only gets Caucasian Russian prostitutes and Caucasian strippers to have Caucasian, turn them into baby mamas and have the illegitimate children with. But that's, it's not a lot of funky town going on around the Biden family thing. They do have Pete Buttigieg. They've got Buttigieg. And President Trump, what's he going to do? Because crime has gone mad in New York City, and you got Venezuelan gangs marauding all over New York City. They're from Venezuela, in case Democrats are listening, and, dragging women down the street on their stolen Vespas while they're stealing their purses and their phones and everything else, and throwing people in front of subway trains and attacking who was the latest celebrity to be hit over the head in New York City. It's so hard to keep track. There are so many of them.
Steve Buscemi.
Oh, yeah, Steve Buscemi, the actor Steve Buscemi. He was the last one to be beat over the head, and the other guy was Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis was beat over the head. And that's just celebrity, felony assaults in New York City for 500, wink. Just amazing. President Trump yesterday.
When I take office, we are going to restore public safety and the rule of law in New York City. That starts with stopping the pouring into our country of millions and millions of illegal immigrants, which are causing a new category of violence called migrant crime. We have a migrant crime happening now. You add that to the crime already.
Yeah, it is a massive crime wave, and it's across the country. New York is a border state, but it borders Canada. And the Democrats are here to destroy because they're not liberals, they're the left. And they're not helping immigrants. They're making life more difficult for legal immigrants. They're not on our side. President Trump in the Bronx yesterday.
It's working together. There is nothing we cannot do and no height we cannot achieve. Together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America great again. Thank you, Bronx. Thank you, New York. We love you. Thank you. God bless everybody. God bless you. God bless you.
And it was, I wasn't there, but the energy was great. I was all incredibly positive. And I'm going to play, I've got audio for you, the people in the crowd. And then some of the news media did okay. Others should be turned over to Hamas. And I've got that coming up. It'd be fun to be able to turn over Hamas, wouldn't it? Yeah, and the savages in Hamas. I've got an update on the savages today, too. The ones that the Democrats support. And the idiotic port facility that Joe Biden built. God, he's an idiot. You know that the best-selling Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier uses Oxy technology that helps quickly destroy many viruses, odors, mold, and a whole lot more. With thousands of 5-star reviews online, you know it works like a champ. We've got 2 of them in our home. Any smell will vanish after just a few seconds with the thunderstorm being on. Odors from trash cans, cigarette smoke, even left-wing protesters are no match for the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. The powerful thunderstorm sends out O3 molecules that seek out and help destroy odors. These molecules even go behind and underneath furniture, and nothing can hide from the thunderstorm. Best of all, no filters to buy and replace over and over again like a lot of other filters. It costs money to replace, takes time and energy. You got to schedule it, but not with the thunderstorm. Time to start enjoying your home again. Get several thunderstorms for a whole home protection, because right now you can save $200 American on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack. That's for a whole home protection. Put one in your office. You get 3 units for under $200. One in your basement, one in your teenager's room. Bring one to the office. All you have to do is go to EdenPureDeals.com, EdenPureDeals.com, and use the discount code CHRIS3, CHRIS, and the number 3 to save $200. That's EdenPureDeals.com, and the discount code is CHRIS3. Yes, sir. Yeah, President Trump en fuego in El Bronx. And everybody was loving it, except, of course, lefties who are mentally ill. They wanted to burn things and steal stuff and attack people. But it didn't happen, because as ethnically rich as the crowd was, it was a Republican voting crowd. So they're on the side of sanity and peace, and they were neighborly. They were happy and pleasant. It was a great demonstration of what America is when the left isn't in charge. All right, I'm going to get to our media people respond, and to the nice people in the crowd, and then the corrupt media pretending to cover the rally. Let's go to the phones first. Let's go to Jimmy calling from the great state of Florida. Jimmy, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Chris Plant, what an honor. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can.
Chris Plant, I had given up on talk radio after Rush died, but I found your show, thankfully. And I can't imagine why in the world, and I'm not trying to put you in the middle of a controversy here, Chris, but why in the world Clay and Buck, or whatever the hell they're called, why those guys, why aren't you in that time slot, to fill Rush's shoes? You're entertaining, you're informative, your frickin' cadence is hilarious. I mean, you've restored my faith in. I started listening to Rush in 1990, and that's just my quick shout out to you, Chris.
Well, that is very nice. A friggin' cadence is hilarious. That is excellent phrasing. I like that very much. I'm sure Clay and Buck are very nice people. It would be nice to work the noon to 3 slot. I could sleep in a little, this morning I got up at 4:15. If I started at noon, I could sleep in a little, take my time over breakfast. There's no music that cool coming out this year. They give Pulitzer Prizes to bad music, and so any music with a trumpet is cool too. I wanted to play the trumpet when I was a kid. I actually got one, a cornet, and tried a little practice at home. But in a house full of people, with being one of 6 brothers, it's kind of hard to find a place to practice a trumpet where it doesn't lead to, we'll just say, noogies. Just say noogies. hard to pick up that stuff. But never mind that. All right, listen. Lots of a great call from Jimmy from Florida. I thank you. I thank you, Jimmy. The world and life. I'll just leave it at that. Let's go back to where we were with President Trump in the Bronx, and honestly, talking about, we were talking about it this morning, and I was texting with friends about it this morning as well. President Trump with his, black and white and Hispanic, it doesn't matter what you are, we're all Americans here, right? That was one of the central messages of President Trump's gathering in the Bronx in a big park yesterday. And that is what an American president should sound like.
It doesn't matter whether you're black or brown or white or whatever the hell color you are, it doesn't matter. We are all Americans, and we're going to pull together as Americans.
Now, this has to be seen in the context of Joe Biden last year delivering a commencement address at Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, which is an all-men's, historically black college. And his message to that historically black college was all, "You're black and America hates you, and you can never get a fair shake in America because we're a terrible racist country and you'll never get ahead. And this is your college graduation. You might as well just throw yourself off of a bridge."
It's natural to wonder if democracy you hear about actually works for you. What is democracy? If black men are being killed in the street, what is democracy?
By who?
Trail of broken promises still leave black communities behind.
By you.
What is democracy? You have to be 10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot.
Not twice, 10 times. You got to be 10 times better. And his message to Morehouse was an incredibly negative, racist, racially divisive. It diminished the value of the individuals, of their college degrees, of their years of work. It gave them a really negative note with which they would launch their futures, graduating from the historic university, Morehouse College. And then he went to the NAACP, which is in Detroit, Michigan, which is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Just don't refer to black people as colored people in any other context. And at the NAACP speech, he gave a similarly negative, racially divisive speech. And I got to tell you, I was watching and paying attention because I pay attention, and I know that you do too. And I was appalled by the horrible racial and racist and racially divisive and anti-American tone. This is the least racist country in the world, but there are still racists like Joe Biden out there fanning the flames of division because they believe it serves the interests of the Democrat Party, which is the party of Jefferson Davis and the Confederate States of America and the American Civil War. You know, Joe Biden eulogized the exalted cyclops of the Democratic Party, Senator Robert Byrd, the Klansman from West Virginia, a lifelong Democrat. And Democrat, did I mention that he was a Democrat? Just extraordinary. So President Trump's message, very positive, and the crowd responded very well because that's what an American president is supposed to sound like, because that's what an American president is supposed to believe. And, you know, Trump grew up in Queens, New York, and Joe Biden grew up, I guess, tussling with corn pop, you know, in Delaware. Or where was he from? Because he's from 5 different places. He's from, you know, the coal mines, crawling out of the mines with a lunch bucket, hence Lunch Bucket Joe. And he's a great big lion Sacagawea. And I apologize to Sacagawea. Let's go back to the Bronx, because the Fox News Channel was there for the big speech in the Bronx, President Trump, the big rally in the Bronx yesterday. And they talked to some of the people there that had gathered, and they're people of, because it's America and it's New York and it's the Bronx, people of all kinds of stripes.
Why are you here today to support Donald Trump?
I am here for Trump.
To support Donald Trump, to put America first.
Now, black men, black women, Latino men, Latino women. There were a couple of white people in the mix, not a lot, but and the white people in the mix are, you know, probably not like there's this woman with the gasoline-colored hair. It's not the girl you want to bring home to mom for Thanksgiving, but they were sweet and fun and happy, and their eyes were happy and smiling, and they were just thrilled to be out in this crowd that obviously had such a good attitude, such a good mood.
What do you like about Donald Trump?
Everything. He's from Queens, and he speaks our language.
I like Trump because he keep it real. He don't got no filter. He's for the people.
He speaks money, and this is what the country needs. We need money, not inflation. We need money.
Everything was under control. We had low inflation. We had gas under $1.80.
$1.80, and that's the guy. Listen, and it did get in much of the country, probably not in New York City, below $1.80, but we had, and people keep not giving Trump enough credit for the gas prices either. I mean, that goes to food prices and everything in every store, on store shelves, from clothing to a can of corn, affected by the price of gasoline, the price of a gallon of gas. And the number that I typically use is, I think in 2020, $2.11 a gallon. But there were places, if you were in Oklahoma or Texas, you could find gas for $1.80, $1.85 a gallon. And not anymore. Because I get premium gasoline because I drive an extremely high-performance car that can break the sound barrier, and it goes very fast. It's got, slapstick transmission and paddles on the dash, and it's almost a decade old, and it wasn't a fancy car to begin with. But they do tell you to get premium gas for this car. It's turbocharged, And I always have gotten but I drive so little that it really doesn't cost me much. I drive about 1,800 miles a year. Over the course of, the car is almost, it's 6.5 years old now. It's 7.5 years old now, 7.5 years old. And I just crossed 16,000 miles on my car. I know. Living in the city, I don't drive very far or very often, and I walk. I walk a lot of places, and I don't do the Uber or that stuff. Almost never. I'm not sure I know how to. My best girl knows how to use the Uber, but I don't. We walk a lot of places. All right, enough about me. Let's get back to the men and women on the street, or in the park in this case, in the Bronx, New York, there to see President Trump.
What issues are people in the Bronx facing?
Economic stress.
They're facing an illegal invasion.
In the Bronx right now, it's definitely crime.
Prices is extreme.
We care about the housing. We care about the crime.
We care about the crime. Can you imagine caring about crime and inflation? But the Democrats have given us crime and inflation. The crime wave is not a Republican crime wave. Prisons are not filled with Republican voters. The Democrats have been fighting kind of quietly, sometimes loudly, across the country in an effort to secure the vote for every incarcerated person in the United States, from county lockups, city lockups, to federal penitentiaries. They want every convict to vote. You know why? Because they've taken polls, they've done studies, and they've discovered that nearly 2 million incarcerated people would be a windfall for the Democrat Party. Come on, man, Joe Biden might say. Men on the street.
How has Joe Biden addressed those issues? He hasn't.
He hasn't addressed them. He wants to make them worse.
Nothing. He's just been talking a lot.
The Biden name in the Bronx sounds like mass incarceration.
Sounds like mass incarceration. Joe Biden, his crime bill in the 1990s, put people in prison for crack cocaine, but not for powdered cocaine, because he knew that Hunter was doing powdered cocaine, but only black people were doing crack cocaine because it cost less and it's easier to carry and sell and smoke out of a glass pipe. And so more black people went to prison for cocaine possession than white people, even if you arrested 100 white people for coke and 100 black people for coke, because of the kind of coke they were using. And Joe Biden's bill, more black people went to prison. That's Joe Biden, who didn't want his kids going to school in a racial jungle.
What has Joe Biden done for the minority community?
He's done nothing but say, you ain't black.
Incarcerated us.
Not a thing.
Absolutely nothing.
I really could not tell you what he's done.
And that is great stuff. There were fun people on the street. A nice lady was asked by this guy. I didn't even know this guy's name, but it was on Fox News, and he asked a black man standing there, said, Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for him, then you ain't black, right? And dude held up his hand, showed his hand to the camera, looked at his hand, both sides, and said, I ain't black. And a nice lady asked a nicely African-American, he's an African-American guy, and asked an African-American lady the same thing and said, well, I guess I ain't black because I ain't voting for him.
Joe Biden says if you don't support him, you ain't black. Are you black?
Looking at his hand.
Hey, Joe, guess what?
Oh, I'm absolutely black, and I support Trump.
I don't know why he would say that. He's not even black.
I guess I said I ain't black because I'm not voting for him.
Trump is more black than him. Trump is black as I am. You heard?
You know, and when a presidential candidate goes to a crowd of black people and white people and Latino people and says, you know, we're all Americans here. You're not black. We don't separate you like the Democrat Party does. Then, you know, people start laughing and saying, well, you know, I guess I ain't black because I'm voting for Trump. And everybody's having a good time. Everybody's having a nice time because, after all, we are Americans. We're not Democrats and Republicans, although the left has made us into, you know, balkanized, polarized. That's the way they like it. They like division. They like hostility. They're the left. A Bronx resident by the name of John Garland, and this guy was great. And he was speaking at the event, on the stage to the microphones.
We're fed up. People from the Bronx is fed up. People from New York is fed up. And we want something different. We want change. And Donald Trump has promised to bring change, and he's proven that he can do that.
I apologize. He wasn't up on stage. He was a guest on the Jesse Waters show on the Fox News channel last night. But he was great. I mean, the guy was just great, and he was enthusiastic, and he was clear-eyed, and he believed what he's saying, and he's a regular person. Remember regular people? Remember normal? The Democrats, they're the left. They are here to destroy normal. And, of course, that's why we sell Remember Normal T-shirts and Remember Normal coffee mugs, because crazy, man, crazy. And I'm not done yet.
We have so many Americans doing so bad in this country because we have people in this country believe that they have the right to strip us of our humanity, strip us of everything that we own, strip us of our rights to raise our children the way we want to raise our children. We have to stand up against them. It's not about just supporting Trump. It's supporting your rights. It's supporting this country's rights. It's supporting our children. All of you people at home that's scared to come out and say you support Donald Trump, we get you. We understand. You might lose your job. You might lose, but vote for him anyway. If you continue to support the Democratic Party, which is anti-black, you're a damn fool.
You're a damn fool. You continue to support the Democrat Party and you're black, you're a damn fool. Sounds like he listens to my radio show, doesn't it? It was full of great stuff and great people and great Americans and people from the Bronx and, you know, people that want a good life. They want the American dream too, but the Democrats are here to destroy, not to make things better. You know that I've got the media coming up on all of this too. You know that your feet are your foundation supporting every step of your life, right? But, you know, are you tired of settling for shoes that promise comfort and fail to deliver? Introducing G-Defy shoes with VersaShock technology. While ordinary shoe brands rely on EVA foam soles for cushioning, G-Defy shoes go above and beyond. I've got a pair. My best girl's got a pair. Hers are sandals. They're quite cool. The superior shock absorption and trampoline-like energy return, G-Defy shoes help provide you with the relief that you deserve from foot pain, knee pain, ankle, even discomfort in your back. When you choose G-Defy, you're not just getting shoes, you're getting a complete solution for your comfort needs. Each and every pair comes with 2 free supportive orthotic inserts that can help align your body, plus a special lateral stabilizer embedded in the shoes to help improve your stride, the way you walk, the way you run. As a listener to this show, because you're such a great person, we have a special offer just for you. Visit gdefy.com today and get $30 off your order of $150 or more with the code CHRIS. That's me, CHRIS. Just go to gdefy, that's GDEFY.com, And don't forget to use the code Chris for $30 off your order of $150 or more. Experience ultimate comfort with G-Defy shoes. Visit gdefy.com today. Yes, sir. Yeah, this was a big thing. And the press, well, you know, they played their role, don't they? And we play our role, don't we? We'll be back with media and more and your calls. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. We've got, we have so much. I'm going to get to as much as I can. The rest I'm just going to go home and talk to my best girl about. All right, now let's go to the telephones. Let's go to Patrick, calling from Arlington Heights, Illinois, in the zone of the great WLS. Patrick, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris, good morning. I love everything that you do and talk about, but I had a thought. You know, after the last couple of years of just down news and just being angry about things and nasty and just feeling downright lousy. I woke up this morning after watching Trump's rally in the Bronx yesterday, and the sun was shining. I felt great. I was happy, and that's what I think Donald Trump brings to this country, besides being one of our greatest presidents. I think that he brings an aura about him that just it is just it's infectious. It's exciting, and it gives everybody exactly the hope and enjoyment of being alive again. And I think that's very important.
I love the way you summed it up, and I think you're 100% right. He's very positive. He's very upbeat. He's smiling. He's telling jokes. He's kind of putting on a show. He's entertaining, and he wants everyone to enjoy what he's doing up on stage. Whereas Joe Biden wants to racially divide, and the Democrat Party more broadly wants to. Look, Barack Obama did it too. Racial division and polarization, bad.